Hi, I'm your instructor, Jennifer. I'm sorry I don't get to meet you this semester, but I did want to assure you that it's still my job to help ease you through this course. I do realize it can cause a lot of anxiety to work on your own. You don't have a lab partner, you don't have me in the room. It can be a little bit scary. So I just want to assure you it's going to be okay. This course has been designed so that you can easily work your way through everything on your own. So to begin with, you have the full week to complete your experiment. Most of the labs are designed to only take a few hours, but you've got the full week. So if you get stuck on something, you've still got lots of time to email me with your questions, or email to set up a video conference and we can talk about it, and then still go back and complete your experiment in plenty of time before the due date. Additionally, the first 3 weeks are going to be intro, so you'll learn some skills and then you'll apply them to that week's experiment. So in the first week, you're going to be learning about how to use your IOLab sensor, how to take data and estimate uncertainties, and how to propagate uncertainties through an equation. Then you'll start the acceleration on an incline experiment, where you'll apply those skills. In the second week, you're going to learn how to use Excel, how to analyze your values, and how to write that up in your typed report. And then you'll finish the acceleration on an incline experiment. Then, in the third week, you're going to learn about graphing, and then you'll complete the ideal spring experiment. After that, all of the experiments will feature 1 or 2 short videos that you watch that tell you everything you need to know to complete that week's experiment. And then you'll do the lab on your own, write up your results, and submit your report to your lab instructor for grading. Now, I am expecting that you'll have questions sometimes, so do email me those. Or, as I say, you can email for a video conference and we can talk about it in person. I do want to make this semester a good experience for you, so do get in touch with me if you're struggling with anything. So, in the next part of the video, I'm going to summarize some important information about the labs. So in this course, every week for a typical experiment, you'd see a video that you watch to show you how to do the experiment. And underneath that, there will be the lab manual file. And there also will be some template files for you. So for example, there will be a template typed report. And you would fill this in and hand it in as part of your lab report. Likewise, there's always a template spreadsheet that you can open up. And again, you would fill this in with all your calculations and hand it in for grading also. And some weeks, you'll also hand in a computer graph that you make with a program called Line Graph that we provide to you. And later in the semester, we'll transition you to writing your raw data in a notebook by hand, but that won't be for a while yet. Now, the typed report in particular is something where you'll need to fill in more and more details as the weeks go by. In other words, these templates will have less and less stuff filled in for you when you first open them up. So because the amount of work you turn in will change a little bit from week to week, when I grade your work, I'm going to be assigning you a general mark for each element of your report. Let me show you what that looks like. So if I click on the hand-in link here and scroll down, at the bottom it shows you the marking criteria. So you can see that you just get a mark out of 5 for the experimental data, and a mark out of 5 for your typed report, and a mark out of 5 for your spreadsheet. And if there was a graph, there would be a mark out of 5 for that as well. And then I'm going to average all those partial marks together to give you a grade out of 10 for that week's experiment. Now, I will return your work to you with detailed comments on it about what could be improved, but the grading itself, as you can see, is not very detailed. So you don't lose a half mark for this, a half mark for that. Your grade will just be an overview of how you did in general. So you get detailed comments, but the grade is just an overall grade. Hopefully that's clear, and you're always welcome to ask me for details about why you got the mark that you did. In the next part of the video, I'll go over some general policies for the labs. Next, I'll summarize some important information about the labs that you should know. So first of all, the labs are worth 25% of your course grade, and there is no lab exam, it's just experiments. If you've taken the course before and you got at least 70% or higher in the labs, then you may qualify for what's called a lab exemption, which would mean you wouldn't need to repeat the labs. We could just give you the lab grade that you got last time. However, this is something you need to set up in person, so if you think you qualify for a lab exemption, get in touch with me. Generally speaking, you're going to be doing 1 lab per week, every week. There are some exceptions, but generally speaking, it's 1 lab a week, every week. And you do have the full week to complete the experiment. The labs are actually designed to be finished in 3 hours, but you do have the full week to complete them, And the labs are going to be due at midnight on Sunday night. So you have until the end of the weekend to complete your experiment. And then on Monday morning, I should be able to start marking it because you've handed it in. And finally, the labs are considered part of the course requirements. You have to complete them all to pass the course. In other words, you can't skip any lab or you'll fail the entire course. That said, if you're unable to complete a lab on time for whatever reason, try to get a message to me to let me know what's going on. You will need to make up all of the missed work by the end of classes, but I can be lenient about deadlines if I know that you're struggling with something in real life. So just let me know what's going on, and we can work something out. If you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to get in touch with me.